Merengue rock, muéveme la cintura. Salsa rock, muéveme, muéveme. Cumbia rock,
And welcome back. We're so glad you stayed with us with Latina Spice. We've got Dr. Emmanuel de la Cruz in the house. He's a plastic surgeon. His practice is in the Woodlands. Dr. de la Cruz, thank you so much for joining us today. And I know we're talking about belly buttons right now.
Right.
And I think you've created a new procedure. Is that right? Or you have a certain procedure that you do for belly buttons?
Actually, I did. I invented this procedure several years ago. It's called the Celtic cross technique. It's a procedure wherein I make new belly buttons. Wow. I had patients who had their belly buttons removed after surgery, and during that time, there's very few procedures to fix that.
Yeah.
And so I developed that procedure, and then had several patients who had it done, and even one of my patients told me, "Oh yeah, as if I have never had surgery done on my belly button, because it looks like a real belly button."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were talking about that because after having babies, right?
Yeah, your belly button's not really the same.
No.
Really? So when you came up with this technique, obviously you had to have someone try it on someone for the first time. Like, were you nervous about using a guinea pig, I guess?
No.
I mean, what if it turns out bad? You have to, I don't know.
I actually started on a patient. He had cancer on his belly button, and we had to remove it.
Really?
And so he ended up not having one. So during that time, one of my co-surgeons, I asked him, let's make him a new belly button, and so that's what I did.
Gotcha.
So
for a lot of women, like that Kate +8, when she had all those babies, did you all see that when her belly was really extended?
Yeah.
She had that redone.
Yeah. So what happens, like when you get pregnant, you have extra skin. Yeah. And you have what we call excessive hooting of your belly button. It goes down.
Sagginess?
Yeah, it sags. And
it sags a little?
So with a tummy tuck, what we do is we remove that excess skin and fatty tissue, and then reposition that belly button, and we can make a new one. We can improve it.
Now, you were in Beverly Hills for a while with Dr. 90210, the original one before Dr. Ray, is that right?
Yeah, I just briefly worked with Dr. Ellen Bogan. And, we did a few procedures together. And it was actually exciting because, there's a few celebrities there.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I bet that. I know you can't tell us, but
you probably you do have an artistic side to you. I could only imagine how much that helps.
Yes.
When dealing with all the detail that involves with recreating a beauty, really, right? Or
actually,
perfection.
I paint portraits, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to pursue a career in plastic surgery, to use that. Okay. And for example, Dr. Ellen Bogan in Beverly Hills, he actually, he didn't really invent fat grafting, but he started fat grafting. He made it really well known in the U.S. A few decades ago.
What is that?
What we do is that we harvest fat from either your belly, from your thighs, and then we inject it in your face. Oh. And what happens is that fat is like a stem cell. And it actually rejuvenates your skin as well. It improves your skin.
So I've also read that you can take it from your belly and put it in your booty.
Yes. That's what we call a Brazilian butt lift.
That's what we
Tell
want
us
to get
to. I want to know about this one.
With the popularity of Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, to have that sensual body profile, a lot of women want to have this
curve,
perky buttocks.
Do you ever get women that want to over-exaggerate it, though, and you kind of that doesn't look very natural? Yes. What advice do you give those women that want to over-exaggerate it sometimes?
It really depends on the ethnicity. African Americans want a much larger buttock.
Really?
Yeah, as opposed to Latinas.
Yeah, I would think that they would want to trim it down a little bit.
Yeah,
they naturally are. Yeah. Most of them are naturally born with
booty
it.
Is very popular right now.
Yeah.
What?
I call it the video booty. The video vixen booty. It's like the size of 2 basketballs. That's really popular. Seriously, really around the African American.
So do you get that? Do you get?
Yeah. I mean, all throughout recorded history, the buttock has been considered as the most attractive, for men, universally attractive for men.
Gotcha.
And that's why a lot of women want to have that sensual.
So do you think they're
buttock.
doing it more for the man or for themselves?
Well, majority of women have plastic surgery. They do it for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if a patient comes to me and she tells me that, oh, I'm doing this for my husband, then that's a big. So it's a warning sign that, oh, this is you're probably not the best candidate to have this procedure.
Right.
So do you tell them that?
Yes.
You do? Really?
Yeah. Because there's some women, for example, some women I've operated, a few years ago, and they had breast augmentation done over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And they told me, oh yeah, I did this for my husband, and then 6 months later they got divorced, and she told me she regretted it.
Wow.
I was going to say that because I have a friend who was with a girl. She had plastic surgery. Like, she went kind of all out. And then he broke up with her because he didn't find it attractive, I guess. So I guess it works for some people, and for some people it doesn't. So if you're going to do it for yourself. Because
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, when you're having plastic surgery, you have to do it for yourself, not for someone.
Right.
And you're actually doing it for yourself.
Right.
So you were talking about the Brazilian. And so African American women come in for a bigger.
Yes.
What do Latinas usually come
Yeah,
in
that's
for?
where I was going, right?
The majority of women actually are Latinas. Especially, we call it the Brazilian butt lift is because a lot of it almost originated from Brazil, where a lot of the women wanted a perky buttock, and it became very popular over there. The Brazilian plastic surgeons has innovated the procedure itself, and so
it's not natural, because I do see a lot of Brazilian women with pretty nice big butts.
Yeah.
So that's not natural,
You can have natural
or some of
perky
them,
buttocks.
right?
They do implants or this fat grafting.
Fat grafting.
So it's one or the other.
So there's several ways of doing a buttock augmentation.
Okay.
One is using an implant.
Painful.
I really don't recommend that because it's associated with a higher complication rate, about 25 to 30% wound problems, like what we call wound dehiscence. The wound open up.
Oh, because you're moving so much. I mean, you can't really do anything without using your
Yeah.
butt, basically.
And then
right?
the other way is what we call the Brazilian butt lift. You do liposuction and you transfer that fat into the buttock. The nice thing about it is that you have the liposuction done, and so you'll have a slimmer body.
Yeah.
And then you inject it into the buttock, and so you have this hourglass figure.
Gotcha.
The narrow waist and the perky buttock.
Right.
Well, that's very interesting, and we want to know more about these procedures. So be sure to stay tuned, and we'll be back with Dr. De La Cruz.